Frankie from Flatbush rides the Brooklyn line. Got a swagger sharp like a vintage wine. Everybody knows his name from porch to stoop. Hustle and dreams in every loop. In the park he struts, hits the handball wall. Echoes hear the stories when the shadows fall. Got 1,000 tales and a confident grin. On the streets of Flatbush where legends begin. Frankie from Flatbush got the city glow, lighting up the borough with his every show. He's the heart of Brooklyn, never laying low. Frankie from Flatbush, always on the go. Bodega lights flicker when Frankie's near. He's got the rhythm, everybody cheers. Corner talks and sidewalk chalks his fame. In the Flatbush breeze you'll hear his name. Underneath the subway hum, the magic's real. Frankie's moves got that electric feel. From Atlantic Avenue to the urban hill, Flatbush Frankie's giving you a thrill. Frankie from Flatbush got the city glow, lighting up the borough with his every show. He's the heart of Brooklyn, never laying low. Frankie from Flatbush, always on the go. Bodega lights flicker when Frankie's near, lighting up the borough with his every show. He's the heart of Brooklyn, never laying low. Frankie from Flatbush, always on the go. Frankie from Flatbush got the city glow, lighting up the borough with his every show. He's the heart of Brooklyn, never laying low. Frankie from Flatbush, always on the go. Always on the go. Always on the go. Always on the go.
All right, that's the Frankie from Flatbush theme song here on FSPN, the Frankie Sports Programming Network. Let me know if you can hear me and see me okay in the chat. We got the schedule release tonight. Even though we got leaks on leaks on leaks, we got plenty of things going on a Wednesday night. It is May the 14th. 1903 hours here on the East Coast of America. Let me know if you can hear me. Microphone okay. Video camera okay. Bell chiming okay. We got to know what's going on because you never know here at the Frankie Sports Programming Network what's going to go on. Phil Adams is here. Todd is here. JoJo is here. Todd says, sound and picture good. All right, let's get rid of this caption thing here. But we got a schedule release, and we got leaks on leaks on leaks. And I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the leaks or not. So they got rid of that. Okay. JoJo says, good to go. All right. But we got a lot of leaks going on. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the leaks, but if the leaks are correct, it's not a good opening start of the season for the Jets. It's not going to be easy. They didn't take it easy on old Aaron Glenn. They sure did not. Oh, my goodness. And what we'll do, we'll also try to take a look at some of the social media teams, the little movies and things that they make pertaining to the schedule release, so we can take a look at all the teams and how they do those. Some of these teams get very creative. The Chargers are known for their creativity, so we'll take a look at that as well and see what we think about the schedule. Now, the schedule that's been leaked is one that says we're opening against, guess who? The Pittsburgh Steelers. And as I predicted several months ago, I did a whole video about it, said the first game of the season will be the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it does seem like that's the case. And then the second game of the season will be against The Buffalo Bills. That'll be very difficult. And then we have two games in Florida, one in Tampa and one in Miami. So those will be difficult because it's going to be hot as hell down here. So, not an easy start to the season if the leaks are to be believed. We don't know whether to believe the leaks or not, but they're usually pretty accurate. So, we'll have to see. Yeah, the NFL, I was thinking about this kind of a sentiment, Phil, also. Yeah, they never give us a break. I was thinking about it. Why is that? They could have started us with the Browns. They could have started us with the Panthers. They could have started us with the Patriots. All would have been a lot easier for us. But then I started thinking, like, the Jets are one of the most valuable franchises in the NFL already. And we stink. We're in the ghetto, as we know, as we talk about all the time here. We're in the ghetto, and yet we're one of the most valuable franchises in the world and one of the top ones in the NFL. So, why, in the NFL's point of view, why should they give us a break? Getting a pop up here. Okay. Why should they give us a break? What is that going to do? you know, give other teams a break who maybe aren't as valuable and need the wins because we've established this value for the franchise and we don't win. We never win. So how much more are we going to increase the value if we start winning? So as we've always said, we're going to have to crawl out of this ghetto the hard way. Nobody's going to make it easy for us. We're just going to have to fight and scratch and claw and just beat the refs and the league and the broadcasters and the media and everything else. It's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. So, it's not great. I mean, you think about it, we got to open up against the Steelers. They got a staunch defense. Now, the offense, we don't know. That offense is not great, really. But we don't even know who their quarterback is. We think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. But we don't know. So, I mean, they're beatable, but then you have the Bills. They're going to be really tough. Then you got to go to Florida for 2 games in September where it's going to be 10,000 degrees. Tampa's a good team, and Miami, we'll see, but they're usually good in the beginning of the season, and they're good in good weather. So that'll be a tough game. So, could we win one or two of those? Yeah, sure, we could. And we don't even know really what this team is yet, So we'll see, but they didn't do us any favors. They could have given us the Panthers. They could have given us the Browns. They could have given us the Patriots. They did not. they did not. Jimmy says, I actually like the start of the season. Well, a lot of people, Jimmy, they like things, they're called masochists. You ever heard that word? Jojo says, September in Florida, 1 p.m., brutal. Yeah, it's going to be brutal. Exactly. We got 2 games now. If it goes that way, then I think we'll probably stay down here, right? We're probably not going to fly back and forth, maybe. But that's not going to help much. We're not a 100-degree team. It is going to be brutal. Those teams are used to playing in those conditions, and we are not. So those will be tough. And those are 2 good teams now. The Bucks are good. I mean, they're not elite or anything. They're beatable, but they're good. And Miami's good, especially in the beginning of the season and especially in good weather. Miami's problem is late in the season with the cold weather and the rain and snow and all that. So they're going to be tough. So they're tough games, but, can they be won? Sure, of course, yeah. I mean, we don't even know who the quarterback of the Steelers is going to be. Imagine the value if the Jets were winning championships. Yeah, I wonder about that. I mean, would it go up that much? I don't know. I would have to think, yeah. But if you think about it from their point of view, they probably want to increase the value of some of these other laggards in the league. Yeah. Howie from Jets HQ. Hey, Frankie, loving the show. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Howie. Appreciate it. Jimmy says, that's me. Jojo says, a possible 0-4 start with, if that's the schedule. Yeah. Now, if that happens, hey, I don't think there's going to be any consequences. I saw somebody on X today saying, if the Jets start 0-4, then Glenn's getting fired. And it's like, no, that's not happening. And I mean, I guess the way to look at it really is like if we have a bad season and Fields isn't the guy, then we'll go get one of these quarterbacks coming out next year. And if we have a good season and Fields is the guy, then we have our guy at quarterback and we just build around him. So, and if you look at it a certain way, it's kind of like a mulligan of a season. It's like, let's find out about Fields. And if it's a yes, great. We continue on. We build around him. If it's a no, okay. He goes into backup capacity for next year and we draft whoever it is in the first round. We'll have a top pick. So, I don't know. That's kind of like the positive way to look at this whole season. And, so that's the way I'm going to kind of look at it. Let's see how Fields does against these. Let's see how Fields does against his old team. That is a revenge game for Fields also. And if Rodgers plays in that game and he's their quarterback, then it's a revenge game for Rodgers against us, but it's a revenge game for Fields too. Let's not forget that. And Justin was not too happy with how he was treated last year. And after reviewing the 6 games he started, I can understand why. We're going to do a little bit of an analysis. We're going to have an analysis video, if I can get it done, in the next few days about what really happened in those 6 games that he started for the Steelers and why did they pull him and what was going on. What was Arthur Smith doing? That big dumb. And how is he being utilized? How is he not being utilized? What was happening? What was going on? We're going to break it all down. But it's going to, that kind of a video takes a while to do. You got to get all the information and then put it all together. But nonetheless, I don't think Justin was too happy to be benched because he was playing rather well. He went 4-2. I don't know if you guys realize this. He went 4-2. That much you probably know. But did you know the 2 losses were by a combined 6 points? Each game he lost was by 3 points. I mean, very easily could have been 6-0. And including one game against the Cowboys where Dak Prescott came down the last possession of the game, came down. The vaunted Pittsburgh defense couldn't stop Dak in the last possession of the game, and he came down, threw a touchdown, 20 seconds left, and they went up by 3. And that was it. That was a ball game. But right before that, Justin took the Steelers down to take the lead. So, very easily could have been 5-1 or 6-0 as a starting quarterback, and then he gets benched, and so I'm sure he's not too happy with the Steelers. So, revenge game for old Justin. What about that? Jimmy says we going 3-3 in the first 6. Maybe so. If Jets aren't over for AG for Coach of the Year. Yeah, I mean, we don't really know what we are though this year. I mean, the Jets are just a wild card now. The people who are in the prediction business, Vegas has us at 5.5. Warren Sharp has us at 6 wins. So, that's what's expected of us. But people don't, what if Justin plays out of his mind? What if the offensive line is just dominant and we just run the ball down people's throats? And then they have to stack the box. And then when they stack the box, Justin has lots of open guys to throw to. And, everything's beautiful. That could happen. You never know. And so then, we could outperform expectations. But we don't know. And we also don't know what the hell we're going to be doing on defense. We think we know based on what Aaron Glenn was doing, but Steve Wilks is our defensive coordinator. It's not Aaron Glenn. And Steve Wilks is going to be calling the defense, and we don't know what Wilks wants to do. It's going to be a Wilks-Glenn collaboration, obviously, but, we don't know what they're cooking up over there. Really, we don't. Are they going to be wide 9 or not? Are they going to be we don't really even know if they're going to be 3-4 or 4-3. We don't have any. No one's asked them that. Ask yourself this: how come none of the vaunted beat writers of all these of the Athletic and SNY and New York Times and New York Daily News and all these things, and none of them have asked anybody if we're going to be a 4-3 or a 3-4 defense? Like you think you might want to ask someone? Can we get confirmation that we're going to be a 4-3 even? Like, no one asks them. No one asks anybody any questions like that. No, they want to ask. They want to ask nonsense questions. Karate's here. The coaching staff will be safe this year. Yes, I believe so. You got to give them at least a year. I mean, it's kind of crazy to have somebody on X, allegedly a Jet fan, saying, "Hey, if Aaron Glenn goes 0-4, he's going to get fired." What? No, no way. I mean, if you saw the way Woody Johnson was talking about Aaron Glenn, you'd think he was Bill Parcells or Nick Saban or something. So Phil says, I do think the Jets AG Justin Fields will surprise a few people. I like the humble overhyped T. Justin Fields was worth. Yeah. Now, something about Justin Fields, he's a great guy. And, he is a great leader. The teammates love him. All of that. It's, hard worker, works at it. Quincy Avery's his personal quarterback coach. There's a documentary about Quincy Avery out right now if you'd like to watch that. And you can see the trailer on YouTube. So this guy's into it. He works. He's a worker. He's been working tirelessly. Quincy Avery came out and said he thinks Justin Fields is going to shock everyone this year with how good he is. But, of course he's biased. He's his quarterback coach. But still, I mean, Justin Fields is a very easy kid to like. Kid, he's 25, 26 years old at this point, but he's a very easy guy to like. He doesn't say much. He's not a talker. He's not going to say anything controversial like the previous one we had. He's just gonna say, which I like. That method of dealing with these scumbags in the media is my preference. That's the way you do it. You just answer in cliches, and you answer their questions, nicely. You don't be an antagonist, but you don't say anything that they could use against you later because they will. So he's not a big talker. He just goes out and works at it and works at it and works at it and works at it. So we'll see. Can he improve? I mean, he played well. I mean, you guys are going to see when I do this video. There's a lot of reasons for optimism with Justin Fields when I show you the numbers. Why don't I show you right now? Some part of it. Let's do a little preview since we don't have any news yet. This schedule is going to come out in about 45 minutes or so. But let me see if I can. Now, we're in Restream right now. We're not in Rumble Studio. Some people may have noticed. Dino's here. Dino. Good to see you, my friend. What's up? Hope all is well. But I'm doing this project on Justin Fields. Let's see if I can share a screen, shall we? And so, like with any good project, you need a dashboard, right? Right, chat? You need a dashboard. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let's see if I can share this. Bada bing, bada boom. Let me know if you guys can see that. I think I disappeared. Can I come back? Oh, there I am. Let me know if you guys can see that. This is what we call a dashboard. Let me know if you can see it in the chat. I see it over here. It looks good to me. But you never know with these technical concerns. Let me know in the chat, can you see my dashboard? I call it the What Happened in Yinsburg dashboard. And what you're looking at here, if you can see it, nobody's saying nothing in the chat. When I refer to the chat, this is when you guys have to talk. What Phil Adams says something. Yeah, that's something in Restream. When you put I assume Phil Adams put an emoji in there. When you put an emoji, it takes forever for it to come up. So Karate says, yep. All right. So what you're looking at here is RPO per game. So this is going to be something that we should be looking at this year. And the you would think that with Justin Fields starting, he started 6 games, they would run a lot of RPOs, right? That's his skill set. He's very good at it. So they're going to run a lot of RPOs, right? Well, this chart shows you, nope. These are on the bottom is the 6 games, 1 through 6. And on average, they ran 5%. That's the blue line. 5% of their plays were RPOs. That's the blue line. And the orange line is the percent for each game. So the first game they did 9%, then 2%, then 8%, 3%, 5%, 2%. And on average, 5%. So Arthur Smith has Justin Fields starting for him, and he runs 5% of his plays are RPOs. That is stupid. That is stupid. And that is something we need to watch as well, because we should be running at least 25, 30, 35% RPOs. Because every time they ran it, by the way, it was successful, even in Yinsburg here. And so it was successful. Fields is running for touchdowns on these RPOs and stuff like that. And Dumb Smith, Arthur Smith, doesn't go, hey, maybe I should run more of those. So that's the sort of stuff I'm tracking for that project. I'll have that video out this week, I think. But you can see right there, it's obvious they should not be running 5% of their plays being RPOs. Not with Justin Fields as your quarterback. Like, what are you doing? You might say, well, they were preparing for having Russell Wilson be the quarterback. So, then when, then he got hurt, his calf got injured. Yeah. Well, that's the point. When Fields went in there, you should change your plan to reflect the players that you have playing for you. You don't just have a scheme and have anybody you get play it. That's dumb. That's the thing that annoys me so much about some football coaches. They have their scheme and they just do what they do, and they don't care who is running it. If they can't run it, too bad. Too bad. Oh well. What? What? You should fit the scheme around the players you have, and in particular the quarterback. I mean, you could say, well, what are you going to do? Fit the scheme around the free safety? Okay, that. All right, but the quarterback is kind of like the most important person on the whole team because he touches the ball every single time on every play. So perhaps you should adjust your scheme to the skill set of the player playing that position, Mr. Smith. Dum. So that's the sort of stuff we're going to take a look at. I have all that data that I collected through watching the games with my eyes. Then you watch the game with your eyes, then you collect the data, you put it into a database, and then you tell a story through data visualization. That's what we're going to do. It's an exciting video. You guys are going to love it. Arthur Smith had himself a Nate Hackett moment. It's the same thing with Hackett. It's the same thing with all these guys, especially now. These days, like in the last 5 years, everybody has tape on everything you're doing the minute you do it. So if you don't build in flexibility, adaptability, unscripted looks, unscouted looks, things they've never seen before, into your game planning as just part and parcel of what you do, you're going to get cremated. And the nice thing about the story I'm going to tell through watching these games and showing you the data and all that Arthur Smith did, Justin Fields still, even with that going on, he won 4 out of 6 games. He had a point differential of plus 38. The 2 games he lost by 3 points each, one on a last-second touchdown by Dak Prescott. And in my success measurement, you see improvement, from game 1 through game 6, and you'll see that in the data. Even with that going on, and even with double and triple and quadruple 13 personnel usage more than the league average. That's another dumb thing that Arthur Smith was doing. Boy, I do not like Arthur Smith. I tell you that much. Nope, I don't want him anywhere near the Jets. Get out of here. Get out of here with that crap. Atomic Clock says, Jets win 2 games until December, then go on a run and screw up draft position. Well, that's something that could happen. Anything's possible, Atomic. Look, you can't ever ask a team to tank. That much we know. But hopefully, Aaron Glenn knows how to manipulate, knows how to finesse that situation. Anybody who has any kind of injury, sit your ass down. You know, maybe bring in the third string quarterback. That sort of thing. But you can't ask the players to not try that. We know. Now, if you're thinking about it, now it looks like the Giants' full schedule has been leaked, and if this is true, which a lot of people in the know are saying it is true, I don't know if you guys have looked at the Giants' schedule that's been leaked. Holy smokes, is it bad for them? I mean, it's almost certain. Now, the Giants are going to be improved. They really did a good job of improving their roster. The question is going to be how good is Russell Wilson for them? He wasn't good for the Steelers, and he hasn't been good in 2-3 years. But nonetheless, um, they did improve the team a lot otherwise. And so maybe they'll be better than we think. But just looking at it on paper, they could very easily be 1-7 to start off with. I mean, very easily. At Washington, at Dallas versus Kansas City. Now, let's bring this up right here. Why don't we do a little sharing, huh? What do you say? Let's do a little shakalaka sharing. Entire screen, dude. Let's see if you can see this. Bang. Yeah. I mean, look at this schedule for the Gigantes. At Washington, at Dallas, versus Kansas City, versus Chargers, at New Orleans, maybe they win that one, versus Philadelphia, at Denver. Denver's going to have the best defense in the league, by the way, with John Franklin Myers on it, by the way, just to piss me off. At Philadelphia versus San Francisco. There's one win in there. At Chicago, maybe they win that one, but Chicago has bulked up their team significantly this offseason, and it's all going to come down to Caleb. And if Caleb Williams starts playing well, which he very well could because their offensive line is improved, the defense is looking good, everything's looking good in Chicago. Now it's all on Caleb, pretty much. So they could be better than we think. Versus Green Bay is a loss. At Detroit, loss. At New England, okay, that could be a win. And then they get a bye. I mean, this is brutal. This is really brutal. So, it's not. I mean, and I guess what they're going to do is they're going to take their lumps with Russell Wilson, and then at some point Jackson Dart's going to come in, and then no matter how he does, he could do great or he could do bad, and either way, the coach and the GM could say, "Well, we need time." If he does great, then they say, "Look, okay, we picked this guy. He's doing great. Let us stay. Please don't fire us." If he's doing bad, then they say, well, he's a rookie. He's going to need time. We need at least 2 seasons to know. So this is pretty rough. I mean, there's basically 3 or 4 wins on here. I mean, the Giants are basically a 3 or 4 win team, unless, they play better than they look on paper. Even though I do think they look a lot better than people think on paper, at the same time, I think, they're in the bottom 5 or 10 in the league, talent-wise, just roster-wise. This is rough. They could beat Vegas. They could beat New England. They could beat Chicago, but it's hard to find wins on here. I mean, Chicago should be much, much improved, especially if Ben Johnson is what we were all told he is. They got the play caller now. They got the offense. They spent big on the offensive line. They got all these receivers now. Don't forget, who'd they get? Luther Burden, and they got this one and that one, and they got Romeo, and they got DJ, and they got, didn't they get Colston Loveland also? And, I mean, what's the excuse for Caleb Williams if he stinks this year? I mean, what's the excuse? Well, everything's there. You got the play caller, Ben Johnson. You got the 3 Ps: the play caller, Ben Johnson, the protection. They got a much beefed up offensive line, and you got the playmakers. I mean, how many playmakers do you really need? I think they got Luther Burden, but maybe I'm mistaken. They got some receiver, but anyway, they got enough receivers. They got enough tight ends. They got enough running back. They got everything. What more do they need over there? So they could be much improved. If so, I mean, the Giants could win 2 games. 2, 3. Vegas, yeah, some guys in here saying Vegas, New England, Chicago aren't easy wins. Not easy wins, but possible wins. Vegas should be much improved. They got Gianti, they got Pete Carroll now, they got Gino over there, so they got a competent quarterback and a really good running back and all that. Uh, New England, and then New England's much improved as well. New England is still not there yet, but they should be much better than they were last year for sure. And they're going to be around a 500 team this year or so, thereabouts. Like most likely, depending on how well Drake May plays or doesn't. But yeah, they're not easy wins, but they're possible wins. I mean, it's possible there's one win on here or two. I mean, the Giants could have two wins. So, that's rough, man. That's rough. Now, of course, trying to predict these things is pretty tough. You never know who's going to get injured and when. And surprise things happen. Guys play better, guys play worse. We think Ben Johnson's a great play caller, and because of what he did in Detroit, but maybe it was because of the personnel he had in Detroit. Now, the NFL Nerd has this thing out already, so it's 7:30. This looks like it is. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. This looks like it is the complete grid. So if this is accurate, this is not official, but NFL Nerd is usually accurate for some reason. I think he actually is connected to the league somehow. But if this is accurate, then our first two games at home, Steelers, Bills. Then we go on the road for two, Bucks, Miami. Then we're home for Dallas. They're going to be tough. Remember, they just picked up Pickens. Then we go to London for the Broncos. Then we are home for the Panthers. Then we got the Bengals. They're going to be good. Well, their offense is going to be good. We don't know. Then we got a bye. So we kind of have a bye in the middle. Our bye is in the middle. I know this is hard to read. But our bye is in the middle, according to this. Then we come back versus Cleveland. I mean, basically, the back end of our season is better than the front end, is the way this is shaking out. So it could be one of these things where we start off slow, we hit the bye, and then we, beat Cleveland, beat New England. We're not beating the Ravens under any circumstances, especially at their place, unless it's some sort of a game where they're overlooking us. But then we have Atlanta at home. We could win that. Depends on how good Michael Penix is playing. Then we have Miami at home late in the season, so cold weather, so Tua could fold in the cold weather. Then we go down to Jacksonville. They're beatable. Then we go to the Saints. They're beatable. So like the back end, and then New England, and then Buffalo is going to be tough. But Buffalo, the last game of the season, they might be resting their players for the playoffs. So the back end of our schedule, if this is what it is a lot better than the front end. So basically, if we could keep our heads above water in the first half of the schedule, we could have a chance really at the playoffs. We could, if you look at it optimistically. There's very few games that are a definite loss. I would say at Buffalo is a definite loss, but at the same time, that's the last game of the year. They might be resting their starters. Karate says 5-12. That's very possible. Things could go very poorly in the first half of the year. Where we only have one or two wins. And then the back half, some of these teams are better than you think, But just looking at it, the back half of the year, Cleveland, New England, Atlanta, Miami, Jacksonville, those are all beatable teams. New Orleans, New England, they're all beatable. And then at Buffalo, when they might be resting their players. At Buffalo, if they're not resting their players, I don't think we can beat them. They're just too good. Now, injuries are always a wild card and always a caveat. That's an understanding. Injuries, if Josh Allen gets injured or something, obviously they're a much different team. If Lamar Jackson's not playing, so that's always a wild card. But just looking at it, I mean, like we could beat Pittsburgh first game. It's at home. We don't know who their quarterback is. I assume since now that this is being released, we're going to know. In other words, he's going to within the next week or two, he's got to tell somebody what he's doing. But what if Pittsburgh's quarterback is Mason Rudolph? I mean, they're very beatable then. Then Buffalo, that's going to be tough. But we could win one of the Florida games, Tampa Bay, Miami. Probably Tampa more likely. Miami's very tough at home, especially at the beginning of the year. But you could split that and go 2-2. Then we're at home versus Dallas. That's going to be tough. And then we go to London. That's a bit of a wild card against Denver. Denver's going to have a very, very, very good defense. They might have the best defense in the league, but their offense is still a question mark. Bo Nix could take a step back, or he could take a step forward. We don't know. Year two is always pivotal. Remember how Mac Jones was thought to be the next Tom Brady. Didn't turn out that way. Then you have Carolina, very beatable, and Cincinnati away. That's going to be very tough. But you could split all those. You could split the first two. You could split the next two. You could split the next two and split the next two and go 4-4. And then you have the bye. And then you could win Cleveland 5, New England 6, Baltimore never not beating them, Atlanta 7, Miami 8, Jacksonville 9. I mean, we could win 10 or 11. We could, but that's super optimistic. I mean, it's just hard to say because we just don't know what the hell we are at this point in time. We don't know how Justin Fields is going to play. We don't know how, maybe we're grounding and pounding everybody into the freaking dirt and winning games, 21 to 13 or something. It's rough. So that's what we're looking at. So basically, the thing to keep in mind here is that the second half of the schedule is a lot softer than the first half. We basically got to look for splits. Every 2 games, we got to look for a split somehow, win 1 out of 2. We got to beat Pittsburgh or Buffalo. We got to beat Tampa Bay or Miami. We got to beat Dallas or Denver. These are going to be tough games. Then Carolina, Cincinnati. So then Carolina becomes a sort of a must win if you just want to play the 500 game, get to the bye, and then hopefully dominate after the bye. And hopefully after the bye, we're all gelling. The offensive line is super great, and Fields is rocking and rolling. That's if you want to make an optimistic case. But you could also say, wait a minute, because I think all these other teams are going to look at us and mark them down as wins on their schedule. Yeah. Schedule fits in with atomic clock prediction. Yeah, so we could, in other words, we're struggling along, and then the easy part of the schedule comes along in December, and we start winning games because the competition goes down. And we're, so that could be. Could be. So we'll have to see. That is not official, but NFL Nerd is pretty close to official, so it's probably going to be very much something like that. Kansas City Chiefs talking about Brazil. Now, when do these teams start releasing their little movies? So I'd like to see that. The Jets are releasing something about our opponents as cartoons. That's not very creative. Other people are doing that. Yeah, so I'm just going through the feed now to see if some of these teams start releasing anything. So one of the things they're saying is Chiefs, Chargers in Brazil. Oh, this was already previewed. So the league opens on Thursday, September 4th. That's the opening night game. Then there's a Friday game on September 5th, 8 p.m. It's going to be in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So the NFL goes to Brasilia, and that's going to be live on YouTube for free. So maybe we'll do a watch along of Chiefs, Chargers, Mahomes, Herbo, Harbaugh, Reed, Travis Kelce, Lad McConkey, and also Conklin. They got 2 conks, McConkey and Conklin, on the Chargers. So maybe we'll do a watch along of that game. Friday night, September 5th, YouTube free. So that's been officially announced. Uh, 49ers have a weak record, a weak schedule. So the Giants have probably the toughest schedule in the league. 49ers have one of the easiest. The Jets are in the middle. Jet beat writers, nobody's saying anything. NFL national writers are just talking about the September 5th game. Let's see, and the teams are not releasing anything yet. The Rams just posted something that says, "Hey, how y'all doing?" What? Why? I don't know. I don't know. Phil Adams says, should be realistic for the Jets to beat up on the lesser teams and be kings of the ghetto and push on next year. Let's hope so. I mean, let's hope our offensive line is really good and we can really run the ball. The problem is I don't know what we're doing on defense. I mean, just looking at the personnel, it's not good. But I haven't gotten any confirmation from Wilkes and Glenn what the hell we're doing on defense. Maybe they're going to run something weird. I don't know. Weird and effective. And maybe Justin can really flourish in an RPO. Like I just showed you guys the RPO percentages for the Steelers, right? They ran 5% of the time they ran RPO with Justin Fields as their quarterback, and they won 4 out of 6 games doing that. And running double and triple and quadruple the amount of 13 personnel that teams normally run. Well, what if we run RPO 35 to 40% of the time? Could that increase how good Justin Fields is to where he becomes excellent? I mean, that's if you want to look at something optimistically, it's how much RPO are we going to run? And because Justin is really good at that, and it's really hard to defend because whatever choice you make, we do the opposite. You want to crash your emo? Great! Justin's going to take it to the outside and beat you because he's really fast. You don't want to crash your emo? You're going to spy Justin? Okay, then he hands it to Brees and away he goes. So you're going to give us something on the outside? Okay, great. We got glance routes. We got all kind of things. So that's really the question, but we don't know what it's going to be because we haven't seen it. And we're all down on it because we lost Rodgers and we all had high hopes for Aaron Rodgers and all this. And Justin Fields has not been a successful quarterback for the most part in the league so far. So therefore, it's a lot of pessimism. But I'm telling you, from watching the 6 games he started, the man was a successful quarterback running things that, he shouldn't really have been running that don't fit his skill set. So what could he do if you run things that do fit his skill set? That would be my question for Mr. Tanner Engstrand. That's also something maybe the beat writers should, ask somebody so you can get some information around here. But that's the optimistic case to make. Pessimistic case is Fields hasn't done it. He's no good. He stinks, and we're going to stink. Some guy says versus Denver and London sounds like a game maybe he gets injured. Yeah, it's always Denver. Like I've called the Denver Broncos situation. It's like the why do we play this fucking stupid team every year rivalry. We've played the Denver Broncos 8 of the last 9 years. There's no reason for this. We should not be playing the stupid Denver Broncos, who we have nothing in common with. There's no rivalry at all. We just play them every year for no reason. Why are we playing the stupid team every year? It's so dumb. He did play against them last year, of course. It didn't get hurt, some guy. So, but let's hope and pray. Let's say some extra prayers for AVT. Prayers up. What about preventative praying? You don't have to just put prayers up afterward, after a guy gets hurt. What about preventative praying? Let's do a little preventative praying on behalf of AVT when he goes up against the Denver Broncos over there in London. And what's the field like over there, Phil Adams? Tottenham Hotspur. It's got a giant cock on it, isn't it? Isn't it, Governor? Phil Adams, what kind of surface is it? Is it artificial turf over there, Phil, or do they have grass? Karate says, don't say that, man. Don't say what? We say a lot of things around here. Karate. Phil Adams, does Tottenham Hotspur have grass? Let's look it up, actually. Let's see what Grok has to say about it. Does Tottenham Hotspur Stadium have grass or artificial turf? Let's see what Grok has to say about this. Phil Adams says it's turf. Tottenham Hotspur has a retractable grass pitch for football matches. So Grok is disagreeing with you, Phil Adams. The grass surface is used for all Tottenham Hotspur FC games and other football events. Beneath the grass pitch, there is an artificial turf field. Oh, there it is. Beneath the grass pitch, there is an artificial turf field used for NFL games, concerts, and other non-football events. The grass pitch can be retracted and stored under the south stand when the artificial turf is needed. So they have the grass, but we're not allowed to use it. Oh, that's fucking brilliant. That is fucking brilliant. The NFL is they care about injuries so much. Oh, they care about these injuries so much. We have to take this kind of a tackle out of the game because we care about injuries so much. Oh my God. But here they have a fucking stadium that has grass in it. But they put it in the fucking parking lot and they bring out the artificial surface for the dumbass NFL teams. But when it's the Premier League and it's Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, oh, they get nice grass. But the NFL, fuck those people. Who gives a shit about them? They get the artificial turf. What the fuck is this? The NFL, man. Such hypocrites. We really care about injuries. We care so much about injuries. Oh, so much. So much with the injuries. We're going to call so many penalties. It's going to make your head spin. Oh, we care so much. Oh, well, we're going to a stadium in London. Okay, great. Do they have grass? Yes. Okay, so we're going to be on grass, right? No. What do you mean no? Well, the grass is for soccer, you see. And we have an entire system to put that in the parking lot. And then we're going to bring in, for this game, we're going to bring in artificial turf because, after all, it's the NFL. So, you guys get to play on frozen concrete, but the soccer players, we can't get them injured because that's big business for Premier League. The NFL, that's fine. You're here once or twice or 3 times a year. You can play on artificial surface. But soccer, they play on grass. That's what's going on over here. Okay, explain that one to me, NFL. And what the hell is the NFLPA doing? The Players Association is like, oh, that's fine. Who cares? It's all good because money. Money! Who gives a shit if somebody breaks his leg? Money! Hey, this guy got a concussion. Money! Yeah, but he has a concussion. He's going to the hospital. Money! Right? That's all anybody cares about, really. We have a grass field. Well, we can't use it. No, we're gonna retract it and bring out the artificial turf for you people. Great. Thanks, Tottenham Hotspur. Beautiful. Things that are stupid for 100, Alex. Ding. Unbelievable. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And nobody gives a shit. It's all part of the game, Frankie. Don't you know it's all part of the game, buddy? Everybody gets a fractured ankle once in a while. Everybody splits their head open on the concrete every now and then, Frankie, don't you know? Fucking bullshit. Let's see what else we got. It's 1949 hours. There was a change on the NFL Nerd grid thing. So nothing official yet, I guess. 49ers signed their first round pick. Vikings signed their first round pick. We still have one pick that has not signed. That would be Mason Taylor, by the way. Yeah, but I don't understand this, Phil. The NFL demanded that they put in the artificial turf? Because it was already grass, right? I don't think they would have demanded grass and then hide the grass for the game. So I don't know. Whatever's going on, it doesn't make any sense. Whatever the extra cost would be to paint the grass or whatever it is, man, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit, and I don't like it from the Players Association point of view. The NFL does what it wants, but the Players Association is supposed to look out for these players, and I just don't think they do a good enough job. Lloyd Howell, you're on notice, buddy. I'm watching your ass. Because, I told you guys last year, like you remember when they started, all these NFL players started talking about this issue, right? And I said, okay, they're doing things on podcasts, they're talking about it, they're putting things out on social media. Okay, that's good. Good. Let's see what the next few steps are that they do. What are the actions they're taking? You can't just put out a few tweets and go talk about it on a few podcasts and think it's going to get anywhere. You're going up against sharks. These owners, 32 owners are sharks. They're business sharks. And you're going up against them. And you're going on podcasts and putting out tweets. Okay, that's a good start. You're trying to, build momentum toward a public knowledge about this. But then it went nowhere. What happened? Nothing. They stopped. They didn't do anything. They didn't take it any further. They didn't start talking about it like we're not going to sign the next CBA. They didn't start demanding things. They didn't do anything, as far as I can tell. And so for me, it's more of the Players Association. You have a stadium where they have the ability to have grass, and they're rolling in the artificial turf. You're basically rolling in 30 to 40% more injuries. Rolling it in. Give us that. They're basically saying, give us 30 to 40% more injuries. That's what we're looking for, because we could have had the grass field. We had it. It's right there. They have a way to bring it in and out. It's very advanced. This isn't Marine Park in Brooklyn, Yeah, you also get a comedy show here, Jimmy. I mean, it's part of the value that old Frankie brings. I do realize that 50 to 60% of Jet fans were born without a sense of humor, Jimmy, And I think that's very sad. I think we should maybe have some sort of a fundraiser or a GoFundMe or something where these people can raise money and then go to a sense of humor store and buy one. Because there's a lot of times when I'm saying a lot of funny shit and you people aren't laughing. it's really confusing because I know it's funny. Yes, Tottenham were building a new stadium. The NFL committed to giving them games for 10 years only if they built a turf field for. But why does that make sense? Does it have to do with painting the numbers on the thing, or it's probably some bullshit like that, or some we could save $1 million this way, or we could save $2 million that way. But that's where the NFLPA needs to step in and say, no, hold on. You're asking us to travel all the way across the friggin' world, and you're rolling out the grass. You're rolling in the artificial surface? No way. No way. It's got to be grass, 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 man. But money talks, and the NFL just said, well, you could have grass, or you could have, $20 million extra dollars for the union, and the union made their choice. Money over. This person has a concussion. This person has a fractured ankle. This person, their knee exploded. Yeah, but money, 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 money. Besides, he'll be all right. We'll send him to the hospital. He'll be fine. But we're getting money, and he's going to get a piece of it, so it's all good. Money, 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 money. So, money talks, injuries fucking walk. The only thing I don't laugh at is when you play Das Frog. Yeah, you don't like the Das Frog. We're not playing them. They got a couple of good tunes. Some people like a couple of tunes, Jimmy. But you notice, Jimmy, that was only one night when we turned this channel into K Frank. The music Frankie likes. But we don't turn the channel into K Frank very often. That was sort of a one-off. When I think I was doing a test. What was I? I was testing the equipment or something, and having a drink or two, and said, why don't I just stay on here, play some music? But yeah, independent rock, is going to be hit or miss with people, Phil Adams says it doesn't make any sense because Wembley has the best grass surface in the whole country, but the Jags get that stadium because their owner also owns Wembley. Well, that's even more disconcerting. And that's another thing. What good is our owner if he's terrible at politics? It seems to me that Woody Johnson, in addition to all the other bullshit he does, is also terrible at politics. He's not on any of the committees in the NFL, as far as I know, and he doesn't seem to be able to position the Jets in any sort of advantageous way when it comes to things like that he could advocate for. I mean, what did Woody Johnson learn from being an ambassador to England when he was in politics, in the government? When you go in the government, you would think, all right, here's my chance to increase my skill set at doing politics, not politics like Democrats versus Republican, but just politics of how to get along with people, how to do a favor for this one so they do a favor for you later, this sort of thing, like we often talk about, the first scene of the first Godfather movie, you learn everything you need to know about life right there. That's politics going on. That first scene of the Godfather movie. The first Godfather movie is one of the great scenes in cinema history, but you can learn a lot about politics and how to get what you want. But it doesn't seem like Woody Johnson learned anything because he doesn't get any advantage anywhere at any time for the Jets. What has he ever done to get the Jets some kind of advantage where one could be had? I'd like to know. I'd like to know. And then Trump didn't give him probably because Woody would probably didn't do anything noteworthy. Probably didn't perform. He probably didn't do what he was supposed to do, or learn how to become a great politician, or learn how to get, in that case, the United States, whatever we're doing over there, trade agreements, whatever. He probably didn't do those things good enough to where Trump. And he's a big Trump supporter. He gave lots of money to Trump, and Trump still said, "Get out of here." Well, I tells you a lot. So I don't know, man. I do not know. Anyway, it's 3 minutes to 8. I guess I'm going to try to turn on the NFL Network. I'm not going to be able to show the NFL Network, but I'll turn it on now. Let's go to NFL Plus. NFL Plus. Click to watch. Commercial break in progress. All right. Well, commercial break is in progress on NFL Plus. So we'll have to see what's going on, but we'll see when they come back within a couple of minutes. Jimmy says they make pills for not performing. Yeah, you wonder. I don't know, man. I just don't know. It's hard to. Now they're showing this is a weird commercial. Smirnoff commercial. They're showing a commercial for vodka on the NFL Network. It's hard to know anything about Woody Johnson. He's much less well liked than even Christopher Johnson, his brother. People seem to really like Christopher Johnson. Woody less so. But it's hard to know what kind of mindset he has. He doesn't give many interviews. He's not a very open person. We don't know if he has a growth mindset or an abundance mindset. Like I always look at things as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to get better, to add a skill to a skill set. But maybe he doesn't look at life that way. Nobody really knows much about Woody. He got a big fat inheritance from his family, from the Johnson & Johnson company. He took that big fat inheritance and put it in the stock market and created what's called the hedge fund. And then over the next 10, 20 years, it grew and grew and grew, and he became very rich. Sort of on his own, but taking the inheritance he had gotten. But at least he didn't spend it on hookers and blow. That's one thing. That's a positive, I guess. He took the money, put it in the stock market, and made money in the stock market. But it's not like he was building a product. It's not like he was selling things to people. It's not like he had a business like Arthur Blank or some of these other people, or the people who run Walmart, who own the Broncos now. So, not very much is known about Woody Johnson and what his mentality is, and is he a growth-minded person where he just wants to continually grow and add skill sets to himself? Nobody knows. All we do know is he's very impetuous at times. At times, he gives the people time to build, and then he gets very nervous and very impatient, and then starts making really dumb decisions, like we saw after the Rodgers acquisition. So it's really tough, but it kind of sucks that way. I mean, you know, they're counting down the time now on NFL Network. Here's the schedule release. Jalen Hurts, September 14th, week 2. Why are they showing week 2? Week 1, Lamar versus Josh Allen, week 1. So that'll be a marquee game. Ravens Bills. They're now showing week 15, Lions Rams. It's weird how they're just showing pictures of dudes and then saying like week 15, week this, week that. Now they're showing some sort of lab 32 team. All right, so they're revealing it now. So we'll have the official schedule here shortly in the next few seconds or minutes. Pretty sure it's going to match up with what we saw on Nerding on NFL. Schedule Release 25 presented by Verizon. I'm Rich Eisen. Presented by Verizon. I'm Rich Eisen. I've never said anything funny in my entire life, yet I'm on television and make millions of dollars because I used to be on SportsCenter, and you've heard of me. All right, come on. Can we get to it, please, gentlemen? They're laughing and joking, making jokes, smoking and joking here. Let's go. Come on now. Well, no, Jojo, he didn't. Just because a team is valued at $6 billion doesn't mean he made that much. If he sold them, then he would. But that money is not liquid. So if you didn't see it, Derrick Henry agreed to a 2-year extension today. So that will keep the running back in Baltimore for the foreseeable future. Probably end his career there. It's a great match with Lamar Jackson, of course. So he got a lot of money, as he should. Great running back. Can we now? I don't know. Maybe they released it online or something. They're just saying biggest takeaway from the 2025 NFL schedule. And let's see if this is actually released somewhere official. Off and running. Here's the complete slate of week 1 games. All right. I guess they're releasing it in slow motion. Get rid of this. Cowboys, Eagles kicks off. Then Friday, Chiefs, Chargers. Sunday, Raiders at Patriots. Steelers at Jets. Yep. So that's confirmed. So there you go. Revenge game for Justin Fields. Maybe a revenge game for Aaron Rodgers if he ever decides to tell us what he's going to do. So, yeah, we're opening against Pittsburgh as I predicted, and that was pretty easy to see. It's probably one of the few marquee games. We're going to get 3. Basically, we're going to have 15 1 p.m. games and then 3 primetime games. So that's week 1. But are they releasing week 2? I guess they're just releasing. Let's see if the Jet Beat Riders have anything. Okay, here's the official. Okay, here's the official Jet schedule. Let's just do it this way. Let's share this. Doobie doobie doo. So there we go. Steelers, and I don't like the graphic design here. But basically, we have a one Thursday night, one Monday night, and the London game, and everything else is 1 p.m. That's fine by me. But except the Browns and the Bengals are reversed. But this is pretty much what the NFL nerding on NFL had. Yeah, if you look at it, basically, I think the only thing he had wrong was the Bengals and the Browns were reversed. But it's tough. Basically, we got to win 1 out of 2 here. Basically, that's how I would look at this. This isn't going to work for me. Thank you. I would just break this up into 2-game, little modules. This doesn't. Oh, here's the bye week. Yeah, 2-game. We got to win 1 out of these 2 if we want to be competitive. I mean, if we're not going to have a totally lost season, if we're going to try to make the playoffs here, win 1 out of these 2. Win 1 out of these 2. Same thing here, and same thing here with you got to win this game. You're not winning this game. Then you go into the bye 4-4. Basically, you hope to go into the bye 4-4. Then you can win. Then you can win 2 in a row here. That's 6. You're losing here 7, 8. Remember, this is them coming up to us. 9, 10, 11. I mean, you could have up to 10 or 11 wins. I mean, the Saints aren't good. Patriots are going to be better, but not great. They're beatable. So, I don't know. Maybe you lose the Thursday night game, lose to the Falcons. I mean, the Falcons should be good. Well, it depends on Penix. And then the Bills, the only way to win that game is if they're resting their starters. So that's the way I would look at it. Try to be 4-4 by the break, and then try to go on a run in the second half. Basically, the way I'd look at it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me try and hide this. 1 p.m. games are best, and I can say that watching in the UK, 6 p.m. KO. Yeah. But yeah, that's the way I'd look at it. Let's try to win. Look at these little 2-game series and try to win 1 out of the 2. But right out of the gate, 1 p.m., 1 p.m., 1 p.m. So that's not bad. But then we do have a Monday night, so that's not even bad yet. And then a 1 p.m. So really no short weeks until later. And then we have a Thursday nighter, that Browns Patriots, that's going to be on short rest. So you pretty much got to win the Browns game. And who the hell knows what the Browns are going to be this year. A lot of talent on the team, but a lot of questions at quarterback, obviously. Then we're not beating the Ravens under any circumstances. And then then you have the Falcons, who should be better this year, but who knows about Penix? We got to see how he plays. And then the Dolphins have to come to us in December, so hopefully it's nice and cold for Tua. And then we go on the road to Jacksonville. So this is kind of a break. You get Jacksonville in December. This is our third Florida game, but the third one is in December, so that's a bit of a break. And then you go to see the Saints, and the Saints are probably not going to be good, but because who knows who's playing quarterback and how that person's going to play. But from what we saw from Rattler last year, not great. Hayner, and then they got shook. So, and then the Patriots at home, winnable, and then the Bills. Karate says you're being very optimistic. Well, this is the optimistic. I said, if you're looking at this optimistically, if we're going to be able to challenge for, I mean, it's possible we have a terrible team, Karate, and then it's just like there's no point in watching. Let's go. Let's get us to the draft next year. So there's no, if the team's going to be terrible, then there's no point in going through the schedule. It doesn't really matter, right? It's just lose, get the first pick, get your quarterback, and try to rebuild. We've been rebuilding since 1969. So if you're going to make a case, then you got to make the case, the optimistic case. There's no point in making the pessimistic case. But I'm just telling you that the Browns, who knows what's going on at quarterback. The Patriots, they're still rebuilding. They're going to be much better next year, but this year they're going to be kind of average. The Ravens, we're not beating the Ravens. The Falcons are going to be better, but who knows what Michael Penix is. The Dolphins can't play in cold weather. This is a December game. The Dolphins have to come and play us. The Tua stinks in the cold. Then we go down to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have everything new. The Jacksonville Jaguars. We don't know what they're going to be under Cohen. The Saints have no quarterback. Who's going to be the Saints quarterback, Karate? And then Patriots at home, winnable. And then the Bills could be resting their starters for the playoffs. I mean, look, like we're probably not beating the Cowboys, so you got to beat the Broncos, okay? That means you got to win a low-scoring game because their defense is great. So you better win, 10-3 or something. So our defense is going to have to step up. But we could beat the Bucks. They're a good team. They're not a great team. Dolphins at home will be tough. We could beat the Steelers. We don't even know who the Steelers quarterback is. We're probably not beating the Bengals, although the Bengals don't have a very good defense, especially if Hendrickson doesn't play. Is Hendrickson going to play, Karate, or what? I mean, who do the Bengals have on defense now? They signed Burrow and they signed the two receivers. They got nothing on defense, and Hendrickson is saying, I'm not playing for you. Goodbye. So that's 17 and a half sacks he had last year. And that was like the only guy they had on defense. So he's not going to play. So who's going to play defense for the Bengals? So that's like a shootout game right there. But even so, Burrow probably beats us. But I don't know. I don't think I'm being super up. Now, what I'm being optimistic is I'm assuming our offense can be competent and Justin can play as good or better than he did last year in the 6 games he started for the Steelers. It's possible he regresses and he actually stinks and he's no good and, the whole thing goes in the toilet. And also, we don't know what our defense is. The defensive line concerns me greatly, though our linebackers are good, the two starters, basically. And then our defensive backfield is, we have good corners and questionable safeties, let's say. So, look, there's no point in going through the schedule if you're being pessimistic. If you're saying we stink, then what's the point of even looking at the schedule, right? Yeah, please hit the like button. I always forget to say thanks, Todd, for reminding. Please hit the like button. Why not? It doesn't cost you anything and helps out old Frankie greatly. Also, if you're new here, why not subscribe to the channel? It doesn't cost you anything and helps keep everything free and fresh if you subscribe. So please consider it. I do think I provide unique, valuable information. Other people may disagree, but I think so. I think the subscription is worth your time. It's a little different than most of the YouTube channels out there, so would appreciate it. So this is what we're looking at. But mostly 1 p.m. games, so we don't have any of this nonsense. I really kind of wish we had one fewer. Not sure why, in September having the Dolphins and Jets on Monday Night Football. Not sure why that's to the league's advantage. That's a marquee game, week 4. These Thursday night games, Amazon is known for getting bad games on Thursday. I still think, another thing like the union could push for in terms of these injuries is if you have a Thursday night game, why is it that isn't it mandatory that you have your bye, and there should be multiple buys, the week before? Like if we had multiple buys in here, 2 or 3, and stretch out the season, which nobody would care if you stretched out the season. More football is good. Um, more weeks, I guess, more weeks of football is the way to put it. Um, then nobody should have to play a football game 4 days later. Like I don't like that at all for any team, not just the Jets. So we got to play the Browns. They have a good defense. We got to play Myles Garrett and those boys. In case you didn't hear the news, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, JOK, is not okay. He's going to be out for the season, so they lost him. He had a serious injury, neck injury, very bad. But that defense, Denzel Ward, pretty good defense. I mean, good players on it. They hadn't been playing that great for some reason. And of course, known for their offensive line getting a little bit older. But so that's not going to be an easy game, but it's winnable, especially because we don't know who's going to be playing quarterback. They have Flacco, they got Pickett, they got Shador, they got Dylan Gabriel. Who's going to be their quarterback? We don't know. But whatever. We have that game, and then 4 days later, we got to turn around and play a hated rival, on the road. I don't like that. But then we get a mini bye. So then we get this mini bye, and we got to play the Ravens. So what good is the mini bye? We're not beating the Ravens under any circumstances. Not beating the Ravens. What are you, crazy? Brandon Stevens' revenge game. Sluggo's here. A lot of 1 p.m. games. That means no Jets, as Bills will take precedence over Jets at 1 p.m. where I live in New York State. Well, Sluggo, might I recommend YouTube? What do they call it? YouTube TV with NFL ticket, Sunday ticket. Just get that. I would get that. It's a little pricey, but personally, for a cord cutter like me, it makes a lot of sense. I don't pay a cable bill, so during the football season, I pay whatever it is, $70 a month, and I get all the channels on YouTube plus all the Sunday games, and I could watch any game I want anytime I want. So that's an option. Phil Adams says 18 games, 4 buys, no team. Yeah, right. Especially if we're going to give them an 18th game, which they want. This union, I'm telling you, the NFLPA is not the same union it used to be in 1987. They're a lot stronger than they were, and they have a lot of money, and they have a lot going on, and they need to put their foot down about some of these things. Number 1 should be all grass fields. Number 2 should be 3 or 4 bye weeks. And then once you have those multiple bye weeks, then no team should be required to play Thursday or Friday or Wednesday if they played the previous Sunday. If you're going to play any of those days, then you need to have a bye the previous week. I mean, it's just very simple. I mean, all these people want to tell you they care so much about the injuries of these players. They don't care when it comes right down to it, because their actions are louder than their words. I mean, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium has got a fucking grass field that they could roll in at any point in time, and they refuse to do it. And they say, no, we'd rather play on artificial surface. They get hurt, so what? They got insurance. Stay Woke TV is here. He says, no schedule in the NFL can be called easy or difficult. The teams that was, yeah. That's a natural caveat. Of course, you never know what these teams are going to be. But we know the Ravens are going to be great. And again, barring injury. I mean, if Josh Allen gets injured, if Lamar Jackson gets injured, if Michael Penix gets injured, if Tua gets injured, et cetera, et cetera. But assuming full strength, certain things. You know that the Ravens are going to be a Super Bowl contender. You know that the Bills are going to be a Super Bowl contender. All right. You know the Bengals are going to have a really good offense with Burrow. You know that the Broncos are going to have one of the top, if not the best, defense in the league. Those are things you know. There's a lot of questions about everybody else. I mean, what are the Panthers going to be? I mean, if Bryce Young is what they think he is down there, they could be good. If he's not, they could be terrible again. The Cowboys, Dak is back, and now they have Pickens. Um, what is that defense after they lost a few pieces? But they're probably still going to be formidable. Uh, can Tua stay healthy for the Dolphins, et cetera, et cetera? There's tons of caveats, but saying things like that doesn't really help us because we can't play the games today. So right now, all we can do is look on paper and look at the schedule. That's where we are in the NFL calendar. So Sluggo says there's NFL Plus, but you can't view for a couple hours after the game ends. I'll probably do that and just tell anyone who wants to call during live games to F off. Yeah, you can get NFL Plus. I love NFL Plus because it gives you the all 22 and it gives you the condensed version so you can watch the game in 30 to 40 minutes. But for live viewing, you might want to consider YouTube TV with the NFL package. But that's extra. That's it's a significant cost. I mean, I think it's like $60 or $70 a month. But you get all of your local channels and you get all of the games live, almost all the games. So just depends on your budget and what you want to do and how much you care about watching the game live. I mean, I wonder what do people in the chat like? Do you guys watch when I'm on Green Bean's channel for the games? Me and Jeremy and Green Bean, we're watching the game. Are you guys watching along with us? And if so, how are you doing it? Like, are you watching on linear TV? Because if you're watching on linear TV, you're always going to be ahead of us. And the joke is that we're always behind, and somebody always tells us, "Hey, you guys are behind. Did you know that?" And it's like, yes. But the hard part is like keeping us actually synced, the three of us, keeping the three of us using an internet feed and having us all at the same exact time watching at the same exact spot, if that makes sense, because you can pause it when you're on the internet. So I wonder, but all the people we usually have like 700, 800, 1,000 people sometimes watching that thing, which is crazy to me. but but people really love Green Bean, I think. But like, how are they watching the game? Like, I wonder, like, how many of them are just watching linear TV and have us on their phone, and maybe they're silencing the game on TV and watching us on their phone or on a tablet or something. Jojo says, I always watch you guys. Yeah, but how are you watching the game? Like, are you watching the game online, Jojo, and trying to keep it in line with where we are in the game? Because we constantly have to stop it, and you know that, Jojo. So like, I always wonder how are people even watching this and watching us. So Sluggo says, if I'm ahead, I'll watch you guys on Sunday. If behind, I won't. I don't even know what that means, Sluggo. Jojo says, I pause the game until you go. Okay, so you keep it even with us. I wonder if most people do that. Because a lot of people would get frustrated by that because they want to know what happened and they want to know right now. And we're a little behind always. Phil says, I have Dazen. Oh, I hate Dazen on my TV and you and Bean on PC. Sometimes I'm ahead, sometimes I see. Dazen, I really don't like Dazen, but they're the international carrier for the NFL. So from America, I don't like Dazen. I had a little dispute with them, but that's neither here nor there. Watch you on the phone or laptop. Yeah, see a second screen, maybe, is what people are doing. But hopefully you guys get a lot out of that. We try to keep it informative. One of the things that I'm going to show you in the video about Justin Fields is how I keep track of the games on these drive charts here. Oh, wait, let's get rid of this schedule. So like these drive charts here, when I'm watching the game, I'm keeping track of all this data live, And what's great about it is, number one, I could talk about it live and say, what, were we in 11 personnel, 12 personnel, 13 personnel? But I wonder how much value that brings to people watching if they like that or not. But then that allows me to put all that stuff into the database and then make conclusions, determinations about trends and what's really going on. What's really going on in these games? If my stream of the game is ahead of Bean, I'll watch. Don't like watching if my live is behind. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, because then we're telling you what's going to happen. I hate DAZN too, but they're the only way to see all the Jets games live in the UK. Not even for YouTube, Phil Adams. I think that's because YouTube has the American rights, and internationally, DAZN has the rights to the rest of the world. I don't like DAZN. Jojo says, I enjoy getting a real perspective instead of the TV announcers. Well, what I try to do is give you things that they don't give you, like the personnel groupings and what defense we're in. Are we in nickel, big nickel, etc. And so those are the type of things that the announcers never tell you for some reason. And I don't understand why. I think they should. Todd says, I'm usually working when 1 o'clock games are played. When possible, I have the game on radio. When I can't do that, play by play on the phone and Bluetooth speaker. Aha. Yeah, I often wonder, like, if we could have, well, the problem is the syncing. Like, it would be great if, like, Green Bean or Jeremy could, like, do a play by play and just do a running play by play. Like, it would be, and I think Green Bean would actually be good at it, where you know, basically he does the play by play and then me and Jeremy would be adding the color, just like a television broadcast, except you would hope it'd be a little bit more informative and entertaining than how it is on television. Sluggo says, but I get a kick out of Bean's reaction when the Jets score. His reactions are crazy, baby, crazy. Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. Absolutely. So let's check. All right. So this is Samina. One more thing that we'll check before we get out of here. Let's see if we can find any of these funny things that the teams usually do. I should have them. Oh, 121 posts. We're gonna. Oh, so by the way, so for the Buccaneers, it's their home opener that we're playing them. So that'll be their first game, the home opener. So the crowd will be rocking. Raymond James Stadium over there in Tampa, about 90 minutes away from me. Let's see if I can find the Jets or like the Chargers and see if we can watch it. The Chargers not release anything? That can't be right. It's 8:30, 5:30 Pacific. Wallpapers for the Eagles, Green Bay. Denver Broncos released their preseason opponents. We're not playing them in the preseason, which is good. Sunday night football schedule. We're not on any Sunday night football games, so that's good. Colts release some things. 49ers, Pittsburgh. Give me an error message. So I'm not seeing anything from the Chargers, which they normally have the best schedule release thing. going. I'm going to try to find one that's probably good. It's Detroit, Seattle, the Jaguars. All right, let's see if, I don't know. This is what the Jaguars released. I don't know if this is going to be good. Let's see if we can share this, and let's see if you guys can hear it. Entire screen also. So let me know if you can hear this when I press play. This is what the Jaguars released. I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't know if it's going to be bad. Let me know if you can hear it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know what you're telling me, Roger, but we need more primetime games. Hello? Phone died. This charger's broke, man. This is on my desk. What time is my next meeting, bro? Camera's on. Okay, it's not negotiable.
Thank you.
Hey, Ashton, what's the 10 for?
Because we got to do at least 10 million, bro.
Wait. What's the schedule?
I have no idea what that meant. Does anybody get that? I don't know what the hell that was, but at least you heard it. So let's see if anybody else does anything good. We have plans, Chargers, but they didn't release anything creative like they normally do. That doesn't make sense. All right, let's watch the Chargers. ATL cart.
Welcome to ATL cards. Select the level. NFL Brand 3. Select your player. Maybe not a him. Select map.
UAV online.
Well, that's not bad. That's not bad. A lot of jokes in there. They were joking. They had Rich Eisen in there for the Jets. Um, do we want to watch the Patriots one? I don't think the Jets put one out. Going through here. Oh, here's the Chargers. We got to watch this one. We got to watch this one. Chargers are always the best.
Thanks, Mike.
Absolutely, thank you.
Go get him, Mike! Hustle in there!
My God! That's my God!
understand. I don't understand why Sauce Gardner was in there. What did Sauce Gardner have to do with it? Some of that stuff, man. There's so many references there. You probably have to watch it 1,000 times. Let's see if the Jets did anything creative this year. Does not seem like it. Does not seem like it as I scroll through. No, they just released the schedule. So the Jets are like one of the least creative teams out there with this. Anyway, we never really do anything good with the schedule release. Just scrolling through to see. No. How about the Titans? This is like the Super Bowl for their social media teams, Phil. This is like their Super Bowl, man. They work on this pretty much year round. Year round.
And when your team is playing this season, life can lose its luster. For millions of fans suffering from football season withdrawal, or FSW, even relationships can lose their spark. But now, there's Schedule Resi, a once-a-season schedule fix that cures FSW.
Football is everything. Schedule Rizzy.
With Schedule Rizzy, you can live your season to the fullest. 18 beautiful weeks, marked, circled, counted down.
I was feeling down. Schedule Rizzy turned it all around.
Consult Tennessee Titans tickets before taking Schedule Rizzy. Side effects include altitude sickness, gridlock, hand, foot, and mouth disease, imposter syndrome, heat stroke, crapping out, melancholy, general malaise, jet lag, jock itch, diarrhea, heartburn, nausea, and slurred speech.
Now my future's bright. With Schedule Rizzy, I see the light. Football is everything.
Thanks, Schedule Rizzy.
Thanks, Schedule Rizzy.
I got my Schedule Rizzy.
Ask today if Schedule Rizzy is right for you.
I didn't really like that one. It's all right. Let's try the 49ers. This is 5 freaking minutes. Holy smokes. This better be good. be continued. They did 5 minutes. What the hell? I kind of like this. It's kind of like Fantasy Theater 3000 where we sit and watch the thing. Can make comments. How about the Giants? Oops. The Giants got something going on. Well, how come the Jets are like never creative? Like they need someone creative on the team. They got to get me and Green Bean on this.
Okay, you guys ready for this?
This is really nice.
I'm built for this.
Let's get this thing started, y'all!
Like my hair? I was due for a blowout. Hi, I'm Destiny, but everyone calls me Dynasty. My favorite animals are zebras. I love the stripes.
The champ is here! Name's J-E-O-Y, Joey. Go Birds! They're gonna love my body. Look at this push. Camera guy, push in right here. I'm a pretty intense guy. Probably the most intense guy here.
I'm actually a pretty nice fellow. It's just that I tend to get a bit intense from time to time. No one understands me! 4 hours of makeup daily.
Big analytics guy, all about maximizing optionality. I like to wind down my days listening to Alpha Male Bro podcasts while practicing extreme meditation.
I'm gonna be America's sweetheart. I can guarantee it. Yeah! I've never said this before, but this is gonna be my year.
I've waited my entire life for that special one, but this time, it feels different.
I've always been in long-lasting relationships, but now I truly have love. What can I say? I love love.
My hobbies include beardscaping, dehydrating food, rehydrating food, churning my own butter, generating my own electricity. I like to keep my feet in the clouds and my head in the sand. Wait, I think I got that backwards. I guess I have to share my space, but that's okay.
No, it's literally the worst.
You think I'm wicked hot now. You should have seen me 12 years ago. That's my buddy Ben on that Matt group chat. Hey, Mark, say hi to your mother for me, okay? I gotta go. I'm doing a thing.
Hi, I'm Robert, Robbie, Bob, or Bobby. Hey, whatever you want to call me, it's okay. I'm generational, baby.
I've been down for so long, it's finally my time. It's my one shot, my one opportunity. I'm built tough.
Who that? Just threw a big party. I ain't sucked in months.
My name is Sven, and I will kill all my enemies with kindness. I live by an old family credo. Straight cash, homie.
Yeah, don't tell my mom I'm here, okay?
All new Giant season this fall.
Now that was funny. That was funny. I like.
Let's circle back. We'll take this offline.
That was funny. I liked it. The Jets, yeah, the Jets don't. I'm looking through my feed. Obviously, I have all the teams on my feed here. We could do the Bears. They're talking about, will the real Ben Johnson please stand up? Should we do the Bears? Let's keep going. I'm having fun. I don't know about you folks in the chat, but I think I'm having fun watching these. Next one's the Bears. You might have heard of the Chicago Bears. They won something in 1985 and then haven't done anything since, or previously.
What's up, Lamar? When did you start working here?
Well, it turns out after winning an Emmy, you're not guaranteed work, so here we are. 1 second. What? Hey, Lamorne, it's me. I heard you had the schedule. Yes, sir, I do. I have it right here in front of me, waiting for you when you get back. Listen, I'll be out at the game all day. Can you just email it to me? Yeah, absolutely. Email. I know how to use it. Who's the email? Hello, coach? Hello? I'm gonna type this in. Hit me. Got it. Oh no. Oh no. No.
What is it?
I sent the schedule, the entire schedule, to every Ben Johnson on the Chicago Bears marketing list.
You sent a confidential schedule?
Yeah.
What if we track down all the emails and delete them before they get them?
That's not enough time. That's not enough time. There's not enough time. We'll never get it done by then.
Well, look like we're gonna need some help here.
Hey, Lamorne, how are you?
Jake, oh my God, I'm glad I got you. Question, would you happen to be near your cousin Ben right now?
I'm the Johnson family reunion. All the Johnsons are here. What's up, Jalen? How you doing, cousin? Jalen Johnson's in my family.
Hear me out. Now, normally you're considered a unreliable person, but right now I need you. I need a big favor from you. I need you to break your cousin Ben's phone.
Yeah,
now,
sure,
it's a long
no
story,
problem.
but we accidentally, we...
Done.
Really?
All right, bye, Lamorne.
Guess your mom was wrong about you. My man.
Hey, are you Ben? I'm Rome, and this is Caleb. Can we play for the Bears?
I've never heard of you.
Really? We were the first-round picks last year.
QB?
Receiver?
Well, it doesn't matter. Can we see your tablet? What are you gonna give me for it?
I got $8.
I'm gonna need more than that.
Today we're gonna solve a very difficult problem. We're gonna follow the pandas. If you can't remember pandas...
That's gonna hurt.
Let's go, Mr. Johnson. How you like that?
Hey, y'all want me to get that for you? Go ahead. Thank you. Yeah. Ben, right? Ben Johnson? Yeah. Yeah. Say cheese. Y'all should have said cheese.
Oh, hey, look what I got.
Oh, let me see that, man. That's crazy. What?
I'm sorry, it slipped.
So we got a signed jersey, a game ball, and front row tickets to the home opener.
That watch looks nice.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to United Airlines here in Chicago.
Oh, my fault. Oh my gosh! It's Caleb Williams right there.
Works every time.
Caleb?
What?
Hey, you never sent me the schedule. Listen here, it's in my pocket. So just gotta dust that off. Who are you?
I'm Ben Johnson.
Nah, I didn't like that one so much. Nah. Let's see what else. Bengals. Dolphins. Yeah, the Jets did nothing again. Big surprise. Big surprise. Let's take a look at the Ravens. See you later, Phil Adams. See you later. Let's take a look. Take a little look. Let's take a look at what a real organization does, like the Baltimore Ravinos. Little Baltimore Ravens.
My name is Charlie K. I have, of my own free accord, elected to undergo the procedure known as severance. Hey kids, what's for dinner? I give consent to sever my memories between my professional football life and my personal life.
Who are you? My name is Trenton. I'm from work. So we're friends? We're best friends. Really good friends.
I acknowledge that once the procedure is complete, I'll be unable to access my personal memories whilst at the Ravens Under Armour Performance Center. Nor will I retain football memories when I return home at the end of the day.
Oh my gosh, our Darius Washington. I know you know the Ravens schedule.
The schedule?
You know, the home opener, the Bills, the Steelers, the Browns.
Bills, Browns.
I am aware that this alteration is comprehensive and irreversible. I make these statements freely. Each category of numbers presents in such an order as to elicit an emotional response in the refiner. They'll be sort of disconcerting, scary.
So my job is to scroll through the spreadsheet and look for the scary numbers?
The schedule is mysterious and important.
They were scary. The numbers were scary.
I confer upon you the knowledge for rematch with the Bills. We will be going back to Buffalo. A handshake is available upon request.
Thank you. May I have a handshake?
What I'd like to do is share with you some facts about your Audi. Just relax your body and be open to the facts. Your Audi is a cat person. Your Audi watches TV without subtitles. Your Audi is fond of music and thinks Kendrick Lamar is the best artist ever. I'm sorry. Please try to enjoy each fact equally and not show preference for one over any others. Your Audi is a USC football fan.
They're not ready yet. They're not ready. You can't take them. They're not ready.
Bro, I got something to show you. What's going on? Just watch. Oh, I know what's going on now. I know you do.
My name is Roger R. I'm an innie. Listen up, I have the 2025 NFL schedule. The first primetime game for the Ravens is week...
I have the board here.
Can the board tell me who we play week 18?
Oh yes, of course. The board says week 18 is against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
But what day is the game?
The board has concluded the call.
Why are you a child?
Because of when I was born?
I did the thing. I deleted the scary numbers.
All right, Jordan. Hip hip.
It isn't time. They're not ready.
Oh, they'll be ready.
I can't say I understood that one. There was a lot of references in there. Brian Goldstein says, "What are we watching?" Watching the schedule release videos of the various teams. Some of these are getting pretty, crazy. The Jets, of course, did not release anything creative, at least that I've seen so far. So maybe the only one I'm curious about is kind of like the Dolphins one. Titans one was pretty good. Chargers one was pretty good. Kind of want to see what this Chargers one, the 49ers one was really good. Surprised Robert Saleh wasn't in there. Oh, here's the Jets one. The Jets did one. So let's just watch this one and then I think we'll call it quits. But here's what the Jets came up with. Pretty sure this is going to be pretty bad.
Asked me to draw their 2025 schedule. It starts off in New York where fans celebrate that football is back. I thought it'd be cool to see Snoopy and Snoop Dogg exist in the same world. He's busy reflecting on the ducks from Tony Soprano's pool. Still don't know what those meant. These ones are battling for the rights to claim New York as their own. In the waves, there is a pirate ship in Tampa Bay being overthrown. Whoa, no way, that's where I left my bald dolphin. He has Miami on his mind, but he's headed for Del Boca Vista, courtesy of the Seinfeld family Cadillac, which happens to be carrying this weird old painting of a naked cowboy in Times Square. His hat has an entire universe where football players are wizards and fly around London. Maybe someone from Hogwarts cast a spell on this football, because it has some cars racing around in circles. This one car has a really interesting paint job. It looks like a Bengal tiger trying to guard his Skyline chili. Not sure why he'd want to. This can of chili has bi-week plans courtesy of JetBlue. I'll take a ticket to wherever this ice cream cone is headed. I bet it'll be nice. This Browns fan is rocking his spaghetti string guitar. These guys love A Christmas Story, but I'd rather check out the bowl in this window, where it looks like Patriots fans decided to take a bath in a bowl of clam chowder. One of them was handing out neat flower stickers. This one had a gothic castle sprinkled with Old Bay seasoning, but these guys can storm the castle. This bird is thinking about another bird, who's getting attacked by another bird in Central Park. This bird has a cool undershirt, where a dolphin sells newspapers about Coach Glenn's pick six against Dan Marino. Interesting. One of the papers also has news of Sauce Gardner's triumphant win at Sawgrass. His golf ball is an ode to Jets Flag Elite, the dominant girls flag team, who wins easy in the Big Easy. Speaking of odes, we see the famous lunch atop a skyscraper photo, but Pat seems to have lost his lunch and his phone. He was watching New Yorkers try to put an end to the debate, ranch or blue cheese. I don't know.
Meh. Kind of interesting, but I'm going to try to go down and find the dolphin one, and then we'll call it quits. Do-do-do. Where is the dolphins? Dang. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find them. Man. All right, I can't seem to find the Miami Dolphins, so... Oh, here they are. This is just a minute.
We've carried it all. Good, but not great. Close, but still so far away. Confident, but never satisfied. But when you look inward, dig deeper than ever before. You learn that sometimes the tide doesn't turn on its own. You have to turn it. We're done looking back. Now we charge forward. Forged by perfection, sharpened by adversity, bonded by purpose. Because no spirit can outlast the one that's building beneath the surface.
That was kind of weak. What do they mean, stop looking back? What are they looking back to? Dan Marino? Dan Marina? Let's do one more. This is the Bengals.
Here's the Bengals 2025 schedule.
Cut.
Let's get to work.
Got it. Let's tear it down.
Yeah, you just gonna drop it? Just get the table, man. Table always speaks to a broke boy.
That thing still rolling?
No, it's off.
Can you believe we played Pittsburgh on Thursday night?
what's this over here? Somebody left the schedule out.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. We playing. Yeah, that Browns game's gonna go crazy.
Man, but we don't even know who they about to be starting. Who they know?
Doesn't matter. I'm sacking them. Come on, man. Let's do it.
Man, they out here collecting QBs like they Pokemon.
Come on.
Dude, don't drink that. Seriously, that is the worst color Gatorade you could have chosen. Yellow is the worst.
Oh yeah, bro. Actually, now that I think about it, I hate yellow.
Yeah, you gotta get you some orange in there, bro.
Ooh, orange. Cheers. Oh. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. See you. Yep.
Y'all hear that? Sound like a bird in here.
I got it.
Ted.
You guys need a quarterback for this?
No, they filmed it with Joe already.
Should have cast me.
Yo, this joint still on?
All right, didn't get that one. Didn't get it. I'm sure it was very good, but I didn't quite understand what the hell they were doing. I think the Giants was one of the best ones, actually. The Giants did really well on that. The 49ers were really good. Schedule Rizzy I didn't like. The Bengals, that was weird. Miami's was low budget. All right, how about the Vikings?
Would you be willing to get a tattoo? Yes, I would. Oh, dear God.
Go, lady.
Just breathe and don't tense up. Breathe, don't tense up. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe I'm doing this.
So epic.
I don't think this is gonna work, man.
I would say no bueno on that one. Yeah, it seemed to me the Giants were the best one. 49ers had an interesting one. Let's give the Browns a try. I don't have high hopes. Most of these are pretty bad, I must say. Chargers were good. That was pretty creative. I don't know if it was good, but pretty creative. I guess Brownie the elf is some sort of magician. Why is an elf their mascot, by the way? Anyone know? They're the Cleveland Browns. They have an elf as a mascot. Let's see if there's anything else we want to take a look at. How about the Broncos? Take a look at the old Broncos.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's The Uniquely Broncos main event is about to begin. We've got 14 challengers stepping into the arena to test their skills. Who is going to hang on to become this year's mutton-busting champion? We are fixing to find out. It's a tomahawk flop. That is what you call a poker face plant. They are gonna need a recharge after that. Fly mutton flop. Holding on tight, down he goes, and that went about as well as you thought it would. Well, give him a silver star for trying, but nothing else. As the Brits like to say, that run was rubbish. Duval, more like Duval. Oh, a giant mistake. They are going to regret that one. It is time for our final rider there, folks. And it all comes down to this. He could go all the way. Friends, if you're not excited about this, I'm not sure you're alive.
Meh. That was all right. How about Washington? Now, here's a team. They could go all the way. I mean, Washington has a shot. They got to take a little step. They got the quarterback. They got the defense. They got the coach. They got everything.
play. And it's going to be getting longer by the second. You're all the way back at the 30-yard line. Now you can step into it. Here comes the Hail Mary with the game on the line. And the ball is caught! Caught! It's a miracle! It's Noah Brown! Oh my goodness!
Walking here.
I think Washington jumps. Frankie Luvu jumped over both lines. That was like Air Jordan.
Look at him.
Look at his face.
He's got the tongue out like MJ too.
Look at that.
Right over the top.
Yeah. Most of these are like pretty similarly themed. All right, I think that'll do it for the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. If not, give it a thumbs up. Why not? Check it out. And I'll see you all on Sunday.